Hi, Mr. E here. Hi, thanks for coming to my channel, checking us out. Hey, we're still in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're just chilling. My mom had hip surgery, so I just came. I've been feeding her every day. She went to a care facility, just kind of a rehab thing, see if she can get better. I don't know. At 90 years old, it's an uphill battle, man. Old age is a ruthless enemy. That is the last enemy that you won't quite ever defeat. Um, and you know, there is a way to establish your youth, and it's called the recapitulation. You have to start living backwards. Start because what'll happen um, when you start doing the recapitulation, you'll notice that things come around. It's like a spiral. So things spiral around. The time is not linear. It's happening all at once, and it's in a spiral. So things circle around, and it's like the same old pattern. So you start seeing these patterns that you've had that are running your life. Actually, um, it's kind of a consciousness traps and loops and triggers and wires and mirrors and all sorts of stuff you'll be able to see, um, and then you can step outside and then start looking in and start living a different way, and it creates youth, so you start getting younger. And I know I look like shit right now. I'm allergic to everything right here, right now. I can hardly stand to be here any longer because it's just, I'm so allergic to everything. Um, I take allergy pills, doesn't do a thing. Um, just still, my eyes are just draining like crazy, and my nose is just draining. So I don't know. I'm just so allergic to stuff. That's one of the ascension symptoms, though. So I'm just living with it. Got to deal with it. I've got a lot of work to do. Anyway, that old age, yeah, you can combat it by recapitulating your life, your entire life. And so, if you start noticing, see in Akashia, in Ashiana Dean's work, her book, that's when she transposed the CDT plates. She says that you actually are experiencing one dimension below where your consciousness is anchored. So if your consciousness is anchored in the 4D, you're going to be experiencing everything in 3D. So see, that's kind of like living backwards, because that's like um, living in a consciousness below where you just lived. What you're experiencing is what you just lived. So that makes sense now. There's also another thing that Toltec's called taking a 90-degree turn to establish youth. And if you look at what Ashiana Dean was saying, um, there's a 90-degree uh, rotational spin in dimensions, because the dimensions aren't anywhere else. They're right here in front of us. It's just there's a 90-degree spin turn. There's a 90-degree turn on the spin of the scalar wavelengths that are causing this 3D uh, motion picture to manifest right in front of your eyes. So that makes sense too. So if you take a 90-degree turn, that means you're going up a dimension and then starting to live backwards, because now you're living now, because if you spun up a dimension, now you're experiencing what you just lived, because your consciousness is anchored in like 5D. Now you're experiencing the 4D, um, in 3D reality, if that makes sense. I know that's kind of hard to swallow, but that's kind of what's going on, and that's how they would um, preserve their youth, is by going up a dimension and then living backwards and then recapitulate everything. That's how I've been doing it, and that's been working for me. So, and then things just appear that um, because that's the intention. We want to recapitulate our entire life before we're getting ready for the impact from eternity. Because once you die, I'm getting ready, for my death. You get ready for your death. That's all you're doing is preparing for death. From birth, you prepare for death. That's the only two things that really matter, and then you just prepare for it. By recapitulating is how we prepare for it, and then what you're trying to do is preserve your consciousness so it doesn't get wiped clean again. I know that's hard to swallow, but that's how you do it, and that's the trick. So that's actually how I'm living my life, and my wife. She didn't study the shamanism like I did, and but hey, to each their own. She studied the dimensions and how to live through the dimensions. So um, I've got a I've got a friend with me. Come here, come on. Say hi. Say hi to my little friend. Hi. I got a little friend here. Her name's Scooch. That's Scooch. Scooch is cold in Utah. It's cold here. It's been snowing. I live on the beach, and so it's kind of nice all the time. So it's kind of I grew up here. And I don't know why I'm so damn allergic to it, but I sure am, man. Everything just I can't go anywhere. Just eyes are just freaking toasted. So anyway, I thought I would shoot a video, tell you what's going on, talk about the recapitulation and what's doing, and how to defeat, to kind of combat that old age enemy, because it happens to everybody. See, people are just walking around thinking that death happens to everybody else but them. And here comes my wifey. Are you teasing the dogs? She's teasing the dogs. She's funny. They're funny to tease. They're fun to tease. So I don't blame her. Yeah, I'd tease you too, Scooch. Anyway, so we're going to go get rolling. We got some things to do around here. I just wanted to touch base with you. Let me know how everybody's doing in the comments. Let me know if that made sense. You can read Ashiana's Dean's book, it's Voyagers too, and in there she says everything I just mentioned. And you can read the Toltec information as well, like Carlos Castaneda goes over it in his books. There's a few other places. You just have to search for it, you'll find it. And it's very interesting to live life like that. And, hey, what the heck, see if it happens. And dreaming is the gift to mankind, and then you can actually go to different dimensions. You can look at a different perspective on what's going on, and so we've learned how to work energy. So we've got a website coming. So we've learned I can see energy now because I can stop the thoughts. So once you're able to stop your thoughts and you don't have all this programming running or the foreign installation mind, if you can drop that, even for a second, and then just do it again for another second. It accumulates, and finally you'll be able to stop the world. And then once you'll be able to stop the world, you should be able to, like, dreaming is a way to move the assemblage point to view a different perspective on what's going on. You can actually move it so far that you end up in a different reality. And you won't have to take hallucinogens or anything. And so there's sorcerer travelers that could travel like that. And I've caught myself, in the dream all the time. I dream all the time. All I have to do is shut my eyes and just breathe correctly, and we can enter the dream anywhere. And I can I can travel. My consciousness can travel. Um, when I do that, we can see the timelines. We can see the energy. We can manipulate it. Can change the timelines. Um, of course, we have to have permissions to work on anybody else. But if you give us permission, then we can work on you, and we can show you what's going on and how to actually heal naturally. Uh, I think, I think the medical industry, they're just going to be shown as a bunch of barbarians in death camps in the future. They're just going to look back on these times and say these guys were barbarians because of the way they do stuff. I don't agree with the hospitals. I don't agree with any of that stuff because I think it's more of a how do you say it? I can't recall the word. Anyway, preemptive approach. So you want to keep yourself healthy to begin with, and to do that, you got to look at the energy body. You got to be able to see the energy because you'll be able to see where your blockages are. You'll be able to see any holes, tears, or maybe parasitic things happening. And you can protect yourself against that to a certain degree. The parasites there's this foreign mind installed, and that's how they've trapped mankind and put them into this separate reality. This is actually a matrix. You see, Ashiana goes over that as well, how this matrix was created, where they blocked off the 11th dimension and backflowed the energy up to the 12th, and it created a whole different universe, and they called that their own, and so we're stuck in that. But now there's the Crystal River host, which brings in the full-blown ascension energies, so we can ascend, but it's not in a straight line anymore, so you got to know what you're doing. Anchor yourself into the Aurora platforms, and then go from there. But you got to know which gates to jump through, because it's kind of tricky now, because not all the gates are clear. So we can help you with all that stuff too. Stargates. We got Chewy here. He's camera shy, I guess. So I just want to touch base with you guys. We got to get rolling here. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave some comments. You can shoot me an email. I'll leave the email in the description. You can check out our website. It's not done yet, but it soon will be. So thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.